Okay, here I am trying to make a sense of this Excel sheet. Here we have the days that are for which the trip is intended. First of all, we're going to have to change the date, of course, which shouldn't be much of a big deal. So here we go. We, for example, change it to 9th of 2016. So here we have the normal package. We've got the starting day, which is normally the arrival, hotel accommodation. The price is fixed. Here we've got 25 Jordans for car and then 50 Jordanians for minivan. And so the rest, I assume, are only the pricing for the transportation and other normal things that are included in the package. Maybe including accommodation in the hotel. Okay, we'll get to that in just a second. Now, moving on to the right, we have an extra column here which I think belongs to the entrance fee, right? So I don't know if I should check them all in case. Well, I don't know which of these locations are included in those 7 days trip. So we're gonna have to make that clear. So you may want to explain a little bit about this column here. Okay, having done that, we're gonna go down. We're gonna go down, and here we have. I think these are some profit calculations which are not important. Here we have the total amount of money the person is going to have to pay in these 7 days. This is Jordan. This is the US dollar. POX means person. So if there are any people, we're going to have to add them here. If there are 3 people, we're going to have to change it to 3, so on and so forth. This is the cost per person, which I think should have been divided by this number, which we actually gained from this number. We divided it based on these 2 people, and we got this. Here we have some extra activities. If we have lunch, we're going to have to change this to 1. So we're not going to be changing any of these figures here. And I think these are some extra costs that the customers can apply for if he or she wants. And but I don't know why these are 0. I mean, they should obviously, display some numbers, but these are 0, so you may want to explain about that. This is the hotel section. This is what it costs per person, I think. So this is where I can select the kind of hotel that the client is asking for. If the client is asking for a 3 stars, so I'm obviously going to mark here 1. If the client wants a single supplement, then I'm going to have to mark it 1 here as well. But if he or she wants a double, then I think I'll have to leave this 0. And the meals, breakfast, and then breakfast and breakfast and dinner or something. These are normally checked on, right, as a preset. So you may want to explain about this last column, because I don't know what it is. Is this a summary, a sum up, what? We have an extra column here which has to do with hotel selection. So I think that I'm not sure why we have 2 columns here that defines the same thing. I mean, these both columns are about choosing hotels, right? But maybe this below here we can use it for choosing double specifically. I don't know. So You may want to explain that as well. And then that's it, I think. And once we do that, the pricing is going to be reflected here in the PDF version. And so do we have to copy the whole thing and then send it via email to the customers, or do we have to change it into PDF and send it? I think that's what needs to be done. We're going to have to export it into PDF and then send it via email. Let me know if I'm doing anything wrong here. Now, okay. Now, as an example, let's just do an example for a customer that wants to stay for 6 days. Okay, we come here, or maybe let's go to the Petra 7 days. So this is the predefined itinerary, which we are not going to mess with. So here we have to determine how many people are traveling. So if it's 4 or 5, we're going to have to add here. And the choice of van and minivan, or choice of car and minivan. So I think there needs to be a mechanism through which the clients should identify if they want a car or a minivan, or do we have to suggest it? I don't know. Okay, the lunch and other extra activities will be determined here. If the customers require it, then we're going to have to check it, mark it as so. Okay, let's say we are fixing this trip for 3 people, so I'm going to change it to 3. And the cost is reflected here, 922 for all these 7 days, including transportation and other things that are included in this package, which I think should include accommodation. The price can vary based upon the choice of hotel and other extra activities. If I'm wrong, you can correct me here. So I think these are some, from my understanding, these are some calculation figures. These are for the sake of calculation. Doesn't have anything to do with the client's itinerary. So yeah, this is where we need to. This is where it gets related to the client's request. So we can modify these options based upon the client's request and preference. If the client is asking for a 5-star hotel, we're going to have to mark all these as 0 and then leave only this record as 1. I mean this row, we're going to have to leave this as marked. Again, I want you to explain about this last column. What is it about? So let me mark all these as 0. Okay, we assume that the customers are not asking for breakfast, bed, for breakfast or other meals. Let's go downstairs here. We have minivan hotel. Again, I think I need you to explain a little bit about this section, because we have already chosen, right, the kind of hotel the customer is asking for. But what about this extra column here, which again has to do with hotels? So please tell me what it's all about. What I should change there. And I think that's it. That's it. So let's see how much the customer has to pay here. So this is the final figure the customer has to pay per person. This is the overall price, and this is the per person, right? And once we've done that, and of course assuming that I've changed the date here, let's assume that the customer is traveling in the last month of the year, September. Now we go to Petra 7 days and see if it's reflected here, which should be, technically speaking, if everything has been done correct. Okay, yeah, the date is reflected successfully here, and then we have the details of the itinerary for each day. So I assume we're gonna have to export this into PDF and then send it to the respective client through email. The pricing is going to be reflected here, somewhere here, the quotation. Hang on a second. Quotation. Where's the sum up? Hang on a second. Scroll down one here. Anyways, the price should be somewhere here, which I obviously can't find. I don't know what's wrong with this. Yeah, here we go. It is 5-star hotel as we have chosen it. For a single supplement, it's going to cost about $543, and for a double room, it's going to cost about $1,086 something. So this is what the customer will see. And in case the customer is going to haggle over the price and say, okay, $543 is going to be a lot of money for me, can you just maybe bring it down to $450 or something? How do you go about it? Do you go here and then make some changes to this cost breakdown, or how do you go about it? I mean, how do you bring down the price? I need you to tell me how do you modify this stuff. So when this is done, you're gonna export this into PDF and then send it to the email. And for the Facebook one, I think I'm gonna have to copy only this part, right? Okay. If the person is asking for the total price for those 7 days, I'm just gonna have to copy this section and the part that says code doesn't include. Code includes? Yes. I'm gonna have to copy that part, this part, and this part into the message box. So yeah, that's how I went about it. But if I've missed anything, or I don't know if there's something that I haven't gotten it wrong, or didn't understand quite perfectly, it would be really helpful if you could explain. And that's about that. Thank you very much.